It's Swayzo cast, bitches.
Probably should start this off. Oh, this is episode 1 of the Swayzo podcast.
With Benny and
Gab Chan.
you're not going by the actual name?
What do you
Is
think?
that forbidden? Are you keeping your identity secret forever?
Maybe
Oh, okay, that's fair.
a little bit.
So we're completely not prepared. I just drove 45 minutes through an unexpected snowstorm to get here, and well, we're just gonna kind of roll with it.
Yeah, just a little bit. There's not much to talk about.
Well, I wanted to talk about my job because my job is just whack.
Sounds good to me.
Um, I work at a car wash, and it's not as grungy as it sounds. Just like to start off by saying that. It's actually a lot of fun. But the characters that work at the car wash with us are just absolute whack jobs. I haven't actually told you any of this. I kind of was saving it for this
Yikes.
material. So there's the manager. He works the normal office hours, which is like, normal job and that crap, 7 to 5 weekdays and like not the weekends and all that crap. So I don't actually get to see him at all, which is good because he makes me do work, and doing work at your job, right? That's the worst.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So I get to see the assistant manager more often than the actual manager. And when I say she's a crackhead, I mean she's literally a crackhead. Like,
Oh.
not anymore, but she used to be an actual
Like
crackhead.
literally.
Like straight up would do crack.
Oh.
She
that's-
showed
Oh
she
my
showed
God.
yeah. She showed us a video of her sitting in like her apartment or whatever, right? With a card doing cocaine.
What the?
She
Oh
she
my
had
God.
a gun in her left hand
What?
and a card in her right hand. She had the gun, she was like messing with it and aimed it at the camera and swiped it into a line and did some cocaine. Like, also, the song I Kill People was playing in the background the entire
I
time.
don't even. What the?
Kind of just an iconic moment in her life.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she also went to jail, multiple felonies, all that type of crap. So
Oh.
she's an assistant manager at this car wash now. That's just one person there. We've tried to hire, not hide. We're not hiding anything.
Oh my.
We tried
Definitely
to.
won't look behind the parking lot in the garbage bins.
Don't even worry about it. So we tried to hire a couple of guys, and for some reason, I can't pick up on why. They just don't want to work there, because I kind of just show up and then dip. Definitely nothing suspicious going on or anything that's really pushing people away.
I feel like you're working at like one of those CIA cover
It's
like
not actually a
jobs.
car wash. It's
Yeah. It's like a front for something like way more sinister.
basically, we get all the criminals to come here, and then we just bust them
Oh
like that,
my.
right? And they have a criminal as the assistant manager to draw them in, right? No, but it's all just an undercover
Yeah,
operation.
I'm just actually in the mob, you know. It's like,
Pretty much.
yeah.
Okay, I showed up, and like one of my first few days of working, she told me, the assistant manager told me that she was part of the cartel, and I believed her
Oh my,
because
what the
I mean,
fuck?
like, it wasn't that not believable. She showed me records of her being to jail, so
And snorting cocaine.
snorting cocaine,
Oh
but
my
like,
god.
yeah, it's no, she's actually straight edge now. Like, all she does is vape, and yeah, actually everyone there vapes. I don't vape, but everyone else does because that's the thing, except for Joe. But Joe left. Rest in peace, Joe. You were good. Fuck you.
What the? Oh my god.
There was a great worker. His name was Joe. We would always open on Sundays together, and then he quit and went to work at Hy-Vee, and it makes me mad. So Joe, if you ever hear this, fuck you.
All right.
Hope you never hear this. What I've been trying to say about hiring people is we tried to hire this one person. I don't know what his name was because I saw him one time before he was not hired. And so what happened was, he was actually on parole, but he
Yeah.
never told anyone that.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So like,
I mean, he probably would have gotten the job anyways, considering
yes,
your
if you-
manager's position.
Shut up. No, but like,
God.
you should have told us, and he didn't tell us, and so he eventually was like, "Oh yeah, I'm on parole." And then they asked him like crap, like what he did. He said he went to jail like 3 times or something, and I'm just gonna use his exact words. Like, so you went to jail 3 times. He's like, "Yeah, the first time was for meth,
Yeah, of course.
making and using and selling. Second time was for meth again, and then the third time I'm I'm gonna use a direct quote here. My daughter was out running around, so I kind of just snatched her up. I don't know what that means, but he went to prison. Kind of concerning.
That does not, snatching somebody up does not generally mean something that's
Yeah, that's
like
typically a positive
lawful.
connotations to it. Just
My God.
snatched her up. So, yeah. It's a fun place to work, though. there's a lot of interesting people there.
Oh
Oh,
my.
man.
Oh, I mean, speaking of High V though, like,
Oh,
God, I got
yeah.
some weird fucking stories from High V, man.
I used to work there. I worked there for a week, and then I quit because I hated that place.
Really?
Yeah, no, I couldn't
That's
stand
funny.
it. I could not stand it.
God, that was what a time to be alive. High V, am I right? Like, woo.
Shout out High V.
I mean, I worked at it was not the best High V. Let's just say that. Like,
Fair enough.
I've been to other High Vs and their managers just don't care. But for some reason, my High V is like.
So, are you talking like not the best High V to be an employee at, or just not like
In
the best High
general?
V, just like
It was-
sketchy place?
I mean, it was okay, but like, to be an employee there was not great.
Fair.
Like,
Are you
for
still working at High V?
I do not work there anymore.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you have a job?
No, I don't right now.
Sidetracked. Sorry. Go on. Anyways,
Fine.
about how bad High V is, because now we can both mutually
Well,
hate on it.
Let's start this off by saying High V only pays you about $9 an hour, and you're
Yeah,
supposed to get a
that's
raise
terrible.
about a couple months down the line. But I never got that, and I worked there for almost a
Fuck
year.
management.
I worked there for almost a year, and I had asked about 5 different times if I could change departments too, and they just
They just wouldn't
Didn't
let
care.
you. So what
No.
what department were you in?
basically I was just up front bagging groceries and stuff for like a year.
Sounds like oh my gosh, and they never like let you do anything else, and it was like,
No.
hey, you want more money? No. Hey, you want to do something different? No.
Pretty much. I mean,
That sucks.
half the time though I wasn't actually bagging groceries. I'd kind of just wander around the place.
That's fair.
Because let's be real, they hired a lot of but God forbid they do any work. Like one time I was like bagging groceries, and this guy, he just goes to an empty lane and just stands there for 30 minutes, and the manager doesn't say a single word to him.
See, that's where you come into just the big intelligent levels of just making it look like you're doing something when you're not, and it's great. If you can master that, oh my gosh, you're gonna make it in life.
Yeah, I would. That was pretty much me. So
Fair.
basically, what I would do is I'd find like a customer that needed help, right? And then I just after I
Customers
helped
there,
them,
oh my gosh, they're all sorry,
dude, fair enough though.
but some
Like,
of you customers are the worst.
I honestly think some of the customers are just hell spawn. Honestly, I'll get to that later, but like,
Yeah.
so I'd go and like help a customer, and then I'd just kind of wander around to the back side eventually, and I'm like, hey, do you need help stocking this item or whatever? And they're like, sure, whatever. So I'd start helping them, and then and eventually at the end of my shift, I'd just end up working in the back, like stocking items
There
for
you
8
go.
hours,
Yeah.
even though I worked up front.
I was a stalker. I hated it because like when I show up to work, I want to know what I have to do the entire time. I don't want to have to sit around and wait for someone to tell me what to do every 20 minutes because I feel like it's like demand. Just tell me what I'm supposed to do from the beginning and I'll just do that throughout the day and I'll stay out of your way. I don't know. That's what bothered me.
For me, it's more like I don't want to deal with people's so
That's fair. So working as a checker or a bagger was not the life for you.
God no. Jeez,
See-
there were some people that were just so goddamn rude. You're like,
See, for me, it wasn't even like I didn't have any overwhelming experiences with people being rude. I've heard a lot about other people having experiences like that. But as a stalker, I would go out and obviously I'd be stocking shelves and stuff, and people walk up to me and ask where stuff was. And considering I worked there for like 2 weeks and I get lost in grocery stores, I had no idea. They'd ask me, be like, "Hey, where's some Chinese spice?" I don't know. I'm like, "I'm sorry, I don't know." And they look at me like I am the biggest disappointment on planet Earth. I'm like, "I'm sorry, I've worked here for 1 week. I try. You don't have to look at me like I literally should be buried alive."
my God, I had the same experience too. Like the first 2 weeks I worked there, people would like come up and ask me where stuff is,
Which is respectable.
and they would just be completely pissed off when I'd tell them I have no clue where it's at. I'm like,
what do you
it's-
not even work here? Oh my god.
I'm like, it's probably over there. I'm not sure, but
I would try names aisle 1 through 17.
oh my God. There was this one shift though that I ended up stocking because there was too many baggers up front. Like when I got there's too many baggers up front.
Yeah.
So the manager told me, he's like, just go do random shit, basically. So I faced every shelf in the store.
Faced meaning what? Like,
Okay, so facing is like when you go up and like turn all the cans and so they face front.
oh,
Yeah, so
oh
all,
my.
they're all
I remember
like,
doing that because I had nothing else to do. I'm like, okay, there's a Gatorade can in the back. I'm just what the hell? Gatorade bottle in the back. I'm gonna grab that and just bring it to the front. Cool. Getting paid
yeah.
now.
So basically, facing is just pulling all the product up to the front, basically. So I did the entire store.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How big of a high V are we talking?
It's a good size high V.
Oh my
It's like
goodness. How long did it take you?
my entire shift. It was like 4 hours of me just facing, and then I actually
It's like the
went
most
through it.
pointless task too. It's
I
like...
know. God, it was so bad.
That's funny. Oh my gosh.
Dear Lord. Yeah. So like the first week I was there too. The first like week I was working there, like literally 2 days after I started training. Like I got there and the manager's like, "Yeah, there's too many people here. Go home." Like
Which
the beginning of my shift.
is nice, but at the same time, money. So like,
Yeah. It was
come on
like
now.
a 6-hour shift too. He
Really?
just told me to go
He's
home.
just like, no. Well, at least like send somebody else who's been there for a while home and like let, like, you stay for at least like half your shift
See, that's a great thing.
if you wanted to.
One of the managers, I don't know what it was. He just gave me everything. Like, dude, we were hitting it off. Like, he would like talk to me all the time about how he's like playing Xbox and stuff. He told me he spent about 4,000 or 40 something. I don't know. He spent thousands of dollars on Xbox games.
Oh my goodness.
That
The
is
most
thousands.
I ever spent was $10 on Fortnite and I regretted that.
Oh, you know what it was? He had a 40,000 gamer score on Xbox. Yeah.
Holy
He
How
said
much of
he
your
said
life
he would
have you
play games even if he didn't like them, he would complete them. Yeah.
I mean, you got to admire the dedication, but also,
was
do you
crazy.
not have anything better to do with your time?
He was awesome though. Like,
Yeah.
so if I was like working up front,
See, most people like that, I'd expect them to have exactly zero social skills if that's all they spend their life.
no,
But
he
this
was
guy
like the
he
best
knew his stuff.
manager.
Okay, respect.
So like if I was up front, he'd just tell me, he's like, "Hey, you want to go to the back?" I'm like, "Sure." So he basically
having a
get
good
me out of
manager
working like all
Makes
the
or
time.
breaks the job. Yeah,
It was
having a
great.
good manager makes or breaks the job, honestly, at a
Mhm.
certain point. Like, because my manager was a...
It was so nice. I mean, the other managers were like just they were okay, I guess, but
yeah.
like that one manager just
Dude,
made it
that
so much
feeling you
better.
get when you like look at the schedule or whatever, and you got the good manager for your shift.
It
It's
was
like,
so nice.
oh yeah, yeah, that's mad respect. So, from my understanding, Hy-Vee teaches you how bad of people can be.
Pretty much.
Here's what the car wash has taught me, other than how big of a scumbag people can be with well, I think we've already covered that one. No, but it shows like how stupid people are. There's a super simple system of how to get into the car wash, right? You pull up, it gives you some options. There's like wash menu, membership. Those are the two options.
I know
So
exactly
logically,
where this is going.
you choose wash menu, and then you select one of the 3 wash options, get any minimal add-ons you want, and then you swipe your card and you go through the wash. Nice and easy. That's just the paying part. There's still way more to this. But at the simple paying machine, we've had people screw up by, oops, accidentally bought a membership for an entire month, didn't know this price was 4 times as much as a normal wash. Weird. How did that happen? I don't know. I'm just No.
Oh my god.
No,
Dear
it's
Lord.
it's so bad what people do. Like, you can get add-ons to the wash. The most expensive wash is $18. The second most expensive is $16. But the add-ons could end up getting the wash more expensive than $18. When an $18 wash you get anything. We've had people walk up and get $23 washes when $18 you could get more.
What?
It's so idiotic how people do that. I guess the system's designed so if you're an idiot, you pay more than you have to. So just don't be an idiot.
I mean, that's how most things work.
Yeah,
If you
that's
really
fair.
think about, Like if you're breaking down your groceries and stuff, it's a lot cheaper to do some things. Like if you buy in like single packs instead of like bulk, you
Yeah.
chances are you're probably gonna save money somewhere because some
Mhm.
companies just want to screw you out of money pretty much.
Yeah, that's
But
facts. That's facts. That's why Costco and like Sam's Club and places like that are fire.
dude,
Also
Sam's
got good
Club.
pretzels. Sorry.
Don't even get me started at Sam's Club, dude.
Good or bad?
Oh, so nice.
Yeah, yeah. You got a little Sam's Club membership.
Oh yeah, and the food court too,
Oh,
so cheap. And you like the one next to you don't even have to have a membership to go into the food court.
really?
Yeah,
That's so nice.
you get
It's just another
$2 slices
restaurant.
of pizza for like literally a
What?
quarter of a pizza.
That's awesome.
It
Oh
is
my gosh.
amazing.
I'm gonna have to swing by there more often.
Oh yeah,
I don't think I've ever actually been to the one by.
it's so nice.
Might have to do that. I mean, if you don't need a membership to get the food, that's all I'm interested in when I go to those places anyway. I just want food. So.
Oh my.
Oh man. But back to the car wash for a second. Once you get past the incredibly difficult aspect of paying, because that's difficult for people, here's where it gets horrible. People are just they just show their most incompetent side. It's really painful. Here's the deal. You pull into the wash, there's like a yellow track, like there's like little bars on the left and the right side, just like wide enough for like the widest tire to fit in. And what happens is you're gonna like as an employee you'll guide them in, and they'll end up getting once they get past this little thing that'll come up and let some rollers go out. I know it's hard to explain, but once they get to a certain point, you'll stop the car and you'll gesture to the board there. The board there simply says a few things. It says wipers off. You don't want your windshield wipers on when you're going in a car. Like
Yeah.
pretty sure that one's obvious. Hands off the steering wheel because you don't want to be jacking the wheel back and forth when you're freaking driving the car. That makes sense. Or when the car is rolling. Then it says, get the car in neutral, which is
Oh
the
god.
most important thing. You just need to put the car into neutral and let the little roller things push your car along. And the last thing says, take your foot off the brake. And you will not believe the type of experiences that I've had. What happens is when you're done washing the car, you walk over to a little panel and you press a button. I've had people, they look out the window of their car. When they press the button, they think, oh, he pressed a button. Now I must let my foot off the brake and drive through the wash. No, just because I press a button doesn't mean you push your foot down on the brake and start driving. That's not how it works.
That's
Like,
tough.
people
Oh
do that.
my.
Like, I will literally gesture, they'll look at it, nod, and then the rollers will go underneath their car. And I'd be like, hey, hello, is your car in neutral? Is your foot off the brake? They'll be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then it'll go under their car again. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You're a dumb please.
Oh my god.
You got to keep the respectful tone.
That doesn't surprise me, honestly though.
People are
God.
idiots.
That's one way to ruin the machine, the washing machine, and your transmission.
We had someone. I gestured to the thing, and they're like, "Yeah, my car's in neutral." I'm like, "All right, cool." You know, I was the only person washing this car in particular, and I hit the send button, and the rollers start coming through, and this sly mother started driving like right in front of the rollers. So like I look at it, I'm like, "Oh, okay, the rollers are pushing his car. That's cool. I'm gonna go back in the office and do whatever the hell I want because I don't want to stand out here." And I get into the office, and you know, I'm talking with the assistant manager for a bit, and then she goes, "You know that car kind of went through fast." And I'm like, "Did it? I'm not really paying attention." She goes, "Did you make sure to gesture to him the sign?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he was in neutral. He was driving. This mother hecker, literally, we checked the security camera footage. He drove straight through the wash. Didn't even get a wash. There was no one else in the car wash. He just drove through. His car got wet, and then he left.
Oh my god.
He literally just left. He didn't like complain about his wash or anything. His car was not clean. His car was wet. That's literally it.
Those car washes are like $17 for those too.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
no, and this dude just
lord.
kind of rolled up and just drove right through. We had a girl sit in the wash stall for 30 minutes.
I'm sorry, what?
She pulled up, right? And one of them was a common issue. It was the issue of the windshield wipers. Some cars, when you like spray it with water, like when something's put in front of the windshield, they'll just go automatically.
Yeah, yeah.
And for whatever reason, this lady could not figure out how to get them off. How to just turn off that setting. It was But it took way too long, and we had to get our manager out there. And so 15 minutes later, we finally figured this one out, right? We finally got the wipers off. That's great. Finally, she can go, right? Car's in neutral. Her foot's off the brake,
Oh
right?
no.
No. Rollers come through. Her foot's on the brake. We don't realize this. She does it. I think we send the rollers 3 times, and every single time she put her foot on the brake. But neither me or the manager realized that at this point because we asked her multiple times, "Is your foot on the brake?" She's like, "No," and then she put her foot on the brake. And so what ended up happening was we had our manager try and fix the issue by just talking with the lady and checking with like settings and seeing if there was some sort of setting that restricted the car from rolling while in neutral, which
Mhm.
I guess makes some sort of sense. But then what's the whole point in neutral? Obviously there wasn't a setting because she was just putting her foot on the brake. And so I went back and I talked to the car behind me, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm sorry about the holdup. We're trying to figure out how to get this car through the wash. The rollers keep going under her car, and she's not continuing forward." And he goes, "Her brake lights are going on every single time you send the rollers." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, her foot's on the brake." I'm like, "Are you serious? Are you fucking kidding me right now?" And I walk back up and I stomp over to our manager and I'm like, "Make sure she has her foot off the brake." And sure enough, when they send the rollers again, he's looking down and her foot's on the brake. And she goes, "Foot off the brake, please." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And finally she goes to the wash. Wow. Big whoop. You finally figured it out. Took you
My
7
lord.
tries. Just, people.
Jeez.
It's crazy though.
Some people though.
It's
God.
just, it's not that hard to figure out. I really wouldn't think it'd be that difficult.
Honestly, I'm finding it's a lot harder to find people with common sense these days.
That's facts. Honestly, it's kind of
Oh.
terrifying.
That's not even common sense. That's literally an instruction. Like,
It's not like it tells you what to do. You're told what to do.
my
Just
lord.
yeah. Oh man, there was another one that the assistant manager told me the other day, and like it was the same situation where she wouldn't take her foot off the brake, and eventually, she'd look down at the brake, and it's like, "You need to take your foot off the brake," and the girl goes, "But then the car will start moving." And I'm like, that needs to happen to go through the wash.
Fuck.
I just maybe they were having a bad day. Maybe they just
Well,
didn't understand
Benny,
what was going on. But
most of the times, this is like, the whole point of having parents teach you things about the world
yeah,
a little bit, you know?
maybe maybe this person had a sad childhood, and no one ever taught them how to take their foot off the brake.
Never know. They
They
could have
just
grown up in an alleyway.
exactly, yeah. So you can't judge them by the day, just like you can't judge the grumpy Hy-Vee customers. And you know,
Okay, well, grumpy Hy-Vee customers, I can get. Sometimes they're
yeah,
waiting in line for like 15, 20 minutes just because let's be honest, some of the cashiers are kind of stupid too. They're like,
it's all around.
yeah, a little bit. It's a little bit of everybody's fault there. But if you're like angry in the aisles and stuff, either you've had a bad day or you're just an asshole.
That's fair. And I feel like it can kind of go both ways with like the customers having or the employees having to be respectful to the customers. The customers need to understand that these are just high school and college kids, or most of them anyway, who are getting paid $9 an hour when they were promised $10 an hour. It's you gotta understand that they're not being paid much. They don't want to be there. The same way you're just there running an errand, they're just there to make money. So like you just have to have a common respect and realize that neither one of you really want to be there, and it's just kind of a need rather than a want. And just have respect for that because when people are assholes and both of them don't want to be there,
Dude, I've had my fair share of people just being complete assholes. Did I ever tell you about Bread Lady?
I believe you mentioned Bread Lady, but I would love a refresher on this incredible story because
Oh
this is
my
amazing.
lord. So, at the Hy-Vee I
Bread
worked
Lady.
at, that we had a bread aisle, which most grocery stores
Yep.
do. So
It's
it's
the pride of Hy-Vee.
oh, absolutely. The bread aisle's like the best.
It actually
Honestly.
is like straight up bakery department. Shout out, whoop whoop, turn up.
All right, so I was facing the bread aisle, right, just pulling all the like loaves to the front and. So at a Hy-Vee, we don't.
Was this the same occurrence where you were facing the entire store?
That was not. That was
Oh,
a
okay.
completely separate thing.
So
but
different thing where you're doing more pointless work.
I'll be honest though, I did face the bread aisle more than probably most other aisles, and the
Nice.
soup aisle. That was a big one. People
I'm in the
people
soup
like to
store.
push all the soup back to the back of the aisle for some reason.
That's just like hitting all the other cans and forcing them back.
Yeah,
I
just
feel like that was me as a child. I just like whack my arm against and just send them all to the back and be like, ha ha ha, not realizing that some underpaid high schooler has to bring them all back to the front.
oh my lord. Okay, so I was, minding my own business, just facing the bread, right? There's people walking past.
I'm sorry. I can't. Every time you say facing the bread, I just picture you standing there looking at the bread, like wearing your Hy-Vee outfit, like just like that one kid in the empty checker aisle, just standing there facing the bread.
I'll be honest, I did that a couple times, just figuring out what I should do next.
That's funny. That
But,
is so funny. Anyways, sorry.
yeah.
Facing the bread.
So there's like just random people walking by. I get asked a couple questions, normal stuff.
Yeah.
Then this lady walks around.
Oh no.
First thing I see is she got this big lanyard around her neck with like a picture of her on her. I honestly didn't read it.
Her own picture?
Yeah, I think it was like an
What?
ID card for something, but I'm not
okay.
100% sure.
Yeah,
But
VIP
first
to
thing I see-
everything.
Yeah. I'm entitled to this, so you have to help me.
See my
So-
VIP card? I made it myself. It's like a self-portrait in crayon.
I don't think it was that. It was like just a printed picture off of someone's printed, I'm pretty sure, but
Not even color, just black and white.
so yeah. She's an older lady, mind you, but
Which can be
still-
sweet, but also not
Still no reason to be a asshole.
sweet. Fair.
So she starts asking me questions like what's your freshest bread? Blah blah blah. Already red flags. I'm like, well, not really. Like normally Hy-Vee doesn't hold any bread in the back because it goes bad pretty fast, you know?
So the precious
So-
bread is the one you're facing.
In the aisle, generally. And most people can do this by themselves by looking at the date on the bread. But no, she had me look at all the bread in the aisle. She's like, I want the squishiest bread you have. So I'm there with this like old lady poking bread. I'm like, is this squishy enough for you? She's like, no, I want squishier bread. I'm like,
not be satisfied.
I'm sorry, but we don't have any bread in the back. This is all we have. So she goes, ah, and walks off. So she's like perusing the bread aisle still, walking around, right?
Gotta find that perfect bread.
And then she goes and asks somebody else that's facing like right behind me the same question. And he pretty much just looks at her like, what the hell what are you talking about? He's like, I have no idea what you want me to do. So she, for obvious reasons, gets really pissed off.
Because that makes sense.
Oh, dear Lord. And she ends up not getting any bread at all.
It just
Yeah.
takes off. Just like, you didn't have my
Yeah, she
squishy
just-
bread,
she just
so
scoots.
I will not buy bread. Did
I'm
she have-
90% sure she just left the store.
Without paying,
Huh?
or like,
No, she just didn't have anything
oh,
else.
just takes
She
the cart.
only went into the bread aisle.
I can see this clearly. Old woman grabs cart, goes to bread aisle, complains about lack of squishy bread, leaves with cart.
Honestly, I can't tell if she was trying to feed some geese or some but like, that's
just,
the only explanation I can find. But that's not it.
just bread.
She came in a second time.
No, the
Yeah,
same day or like
no.
just a different
This
time?
was like weeks later.
Oh my god.
I think it was probably a month and a half later.
Oh my god.
And I was facing the bread aisle again, I was at that time it was pretty normal for me to face the bread aisle cuz that
kind of
one cool manager. But seriously though, the second I saw that lanyard walk around the corner, I'm like,
You saw the
Are
lanyard
you
before you
kidding
saw
me?
her.
I saw the lanyard before I saw the lady. Oh my
Wow.
lord. I knew exactly what was coming.
Oh no.
The second I saw that lanyard. She walks around the corner with an empty cart again.
And stares you dead in the eyes.
Oh
You
my
hear the
God.
Mortal Kombat
She
music start to
does.
play. Fight.
No, but seriously, she stares right at me and walks towards me. And the first thing she says is, "Do you have any thin sliced Pepperidge white bread?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like,
Serial code 479086. Like it literally has it down to the perfect geese food combo. It's
oh
just
my.
oh man.
So at that time, didn't really want to get fired, so for obvious reasons, I didn't say anything bad. I said, "Oh, let me look." So basically, I was scrounging around the Pepperidge Farm area for about 10 minutes.
The Pepperidge Farm bread section.
God. Oh my! So she starts getting really pissed off, right? She's like, "I just want thin sliced Pepperidge white bread," and then I'm like, "This one is like, no, it's not split top." I'm like, "Oh my God! Not only do you want thin sliced Pepperidge white bread, it has to be split top too? Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but we do not have that in the store." She's like, "Are you kidding me? Can't you look in the back?" I'm like, "I told you this the last time."
Flashback to a month ago.
I'm
This
like,
poor
"We
lady
don't
probably
have
has
any
like
bread in the back." Oh my, that was not the right answer.
Oh no. This poor lady probably has like Alzheimer's or something. Doesn't know what she's doing. She
Oh
just remembers the
my.
one statement. What was it? Like putting in slim sized bread or whatever.
Thin sliced Pepperidge white.
That is all. That is all she
That's
knows.
all she remembers.
Every
My.
day she wakes up and walks into Hy-Vee with the same empty cart.
Oh my
She keeps
God.
stored in the back of her 2006 Honda Civic. And she
Lord, I
Every-
swear.
It's a constant process for the bread lady.
But seriously though,
Harnessing the souls of
at
the
this point,
employees.
she's almost yelling at me.
Oh my
She,
god.
well, she wasn't yelling. She was definitely raising her voice though. She's like, "I just want bread." I'm like, "I'm sorry, man. We don't have that bread." So she pretty much jets, and I turn around, and she's like storming off, and I see this guy at the end of the aisle facing like cans or something,
Yeah.
and I just look. We make eye contact, and I just shake my head and mouth, "Run." And he gets really wide-eyed and he just goes around the corner of the aisle. I'm like, "Oh
I
my."
can just imagine the lady beelining straight for him, and he looks and sees his fate and just takes off, just white-faced.
That was
Oh
so
man,
funny.
that is comical. The legend of the bread lady. I mean,
God.
wow. Just
Oh, what
imagine.
a tale.
That is incredible. That truly is. Is that the pinnacle of your customer experience?
That's probably got to be the best story I have from Hy-Vee so
That
far.
is that is so good. So far though, you're done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you quit?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay. So, are you in the market for a job or not? You're just kind of chilling.
See, that's the thing. I've applied to Home Depot, but that's the thing.
Home Depot, sorry.
Yeah, Home Depot. Yeah, of course.
That's how it's pronounced.
So I applied
There's a
about
T.
what's today?
Sixth.
November the 6th.
Yeah.
That's funny. I remember applying in September.
Oh.
Yeah. That's hilarious
kind
if
of
you
a-
ask me.
Yeah. Well. Rip.
Yeah, so the thing is though, I know people that work there,
Yeah.
and he tells me that the HR manager, whatever,
Yeah.
manager lady,
Mhm.
doesn't pick up her phone ever.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not good.
I not only waited about a week and a half to call or do anything,
Yeah.
then I called, didn't pick up. The manager at the time was like, "Oh yeah, she's on vacation or whatever, normal things."
Okay, that makes
Left a
sense.
voicemail. Haven't heard a thing back yet. So that's
Oh my gosh.
hilarious.
That's yikes.
mm-hmm.
Just it's been like a month now. And
Yeah.
just nothing.
I've given
Wait,
up
September, October. Oh shoot, it's been 2 months.
pretty much.
Dang. That's
so.
tragic.
I mean, it was towards the end of September. But
Yeah.
Still.
I have two jobs. I don't know if you knew that. I
didn't
not only work at the car wash, I also work at a country club that's near my house, and I work at the kitchen staff there. It's kind of funny because the person that owns the car wash that I work at is a member at this country club.
Mm-hmm.
So like a bunch of people that know the person from the country club will go to the car wash because they also know the person who owns the car wash.
Huh.
And so they'll get like free passes, and they'll end up getting like a membership there. And it's just kind of cool to like see the customers that aren't just, the customers that are members. And I see at both places like, hey, I washed your truck this morning, and now I'm serving your food. You
That's
cannot
funny.
get rid of me. It's kind of funny, and I know a lot of them. It makes it nice, so the customers aren't all jackasses.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have another job. It's technically only a summer thing, I work at Sigler. Don't know if you know what that is.
No idea.
Yeah, so basically they do a whole bunch of different stuff. So basically, the easiest way to describe it is screen printing.
Hmm.
It's actually so nice. I get paid like 10 an hour,
Ooh, that's
and it's
really
like
nice.
it's like full days. Like
Oh, okay.
yeah, like
I
8 to
get
5.
I get paid 10 an hour at the car wash, and I get paid 8 an hour at the country club, but with tips it comes
Mhm.
out to be like 12 an hour because everyone there
Nice.
tips so nice. The
Yeah.
greatest thing. I have no complaints with that job whatsoever. I only work like 2 nights a week. The only disadvantage is I'll miss high school football games because I work like Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't do that this week. Going to the game, hype, eat. Had thrown it there somewhere. Sorry. Just made this cringe. No, but the worst thing that I had to do for this job happened incredibly recently. I had to dress up as Thing One for a Halloween party, right? You know, whatever. I guess it's not that bad.
Bet.
Cheese balls. Thank you.
All right, we're back. We now have cheese balls.
This has now become an ASMR podcast. No, just joking. Screw that. No, but I had to dress up as Thing One for my work, and that was something. I agreed to it beforehand. I'm like, you know what, whatever. I'm on the schedule. My boss is the most amazing person ever. She literally brought me an entire bag of my favorite candy. Heath, amazing.
All right,
For
I see that.
yeah, it's mad respect there. So good. Um, but Heath candy bar for Halloween, and she's given me like salted caramel before. It's so good. She is the kindest, sweetest human being on earth. She's been working there for 17 years. She knows every single person that's like ever been a member there throughout the entirety of ever. And yeah, she's just amazing. And essentially what happened is, she comes up to me. It's like, hey, so we're working the Halloween party. I have you down on the schedule. Would you be okay with dressing up? And I'm like, I'm not gonna say no to this sweet lady. And so I'm like, you know what? Sure. And so she's like, all right, the theme's like Cat in the Hat, blah blah blah, blah. And I'm gonna be the Cat in the Hat, and you and the waitress are gonna be as I'm the bus host. You guys are gonna be Thing One and Thing Two. I'm like, all right, you know what? That's fine. She even had the outfit, so I didn't have to put any money towards it. She literally just had a blue wig and a red Thing One shirt. So I'm like, all right, cool. I got the wig, I got the shirt, just wearing black pants. That's fine. I show up to work that day, and she's like, hey, got a makeup for you, and tosses me a white tube of makeup. And I had to white face myself, essentially. It was not good.
That is.
I don't have experience with makeup. I was kind of just like, oh, okay.
Just slather it on.
Yeah,
You know?
and that's exactly what I did. And I believe I still have some stuck in my eyelash. It's not coming out, but you know what?
Oh,
It's
no.
fine. But yeah, needless to say, well, a kid from our school is actually a member there, and he got a nice clean picture of me. So glad that
Oh,
that's
no.
gonna be getting places.
I have to get that.
Well, actually, yeah. Well, we'll see if you can acquire that. Hopefully not, because
If I
think
can, I'm gonna put it in.
I have a death threat of the name. For the podcast, if we were putting it on YouTube, just have that as the picture the entire time, just the
Oh my
picture of my
God.
face.
That would be funny.
That would be so funny.
Oh, dear
Yeah, just
Lord.
keep that there the entire time. You know what? It's all in good taste. I didn't choose to do that. People know I didn't choose to do that. Every snapshot I had was just the corner of like what's going on, and then you just see a few hairs of a blue wig sticking out. So it was pretty entertaining. And people were asking, "What the hell are you wearing?" And I'm like, "I don't want to talk about it." And so that was basically how the night went. It wasn't bad. It's just I wasn't ready for the makeup. I wasn't ready to go white face. I ain't prepared for that.
All right, guys, we're back. Go ahead, Benny.
Oh, what?
We're gonna talk about your
wait.
accident.
Oh, okay. So that was something. We can cut this all out, right? Or we can just leave it in for a raw experience. No.
Probably that, yeah.
Okay. You know what? That's fine. We'll just show my sheer social anxiety, except not really. I'm a pretty sociable guy. Yeet yeet.
That's hilarious.
I gotta
Oh.
stop. Why'd you act like that was just a complete joke? No, okay.
Uh,
Yeah. So we're gonna try and do these on Wednesdays. Typically record on Wednesdays, get them out whenever we can, because I'm gonna do exactly
yeah,
no
there's
work
no
with getting them
schedule
out.
because
We're teenagers and high schoolers,
I'm
and we don't really plan.
lazy.
Yeah, same. Me too. So I'll try and get over here on Wednesdays so we can record this crap. I got
Bet.
into a car accident recently, which is probably going to take away my license because it was my fault, but it wasn't my fault. It wasn't user error. It was my 2009 Chevy Cobalt's fault. The brakes did not stop in time. Not because I hit them too late, because they did not stop me in time. All right? There's a very big difference.
I mean, somebody may or may not have cut your
Shut up. Wait,
your
what?
brake line. Nothing.
All right, that's like not even funny though because I've gotten a flat tire before and like the tire was not like a traditional flat tire.
I'm just
Like
saying.
it was slashed but not slashed necessarily. It was slashed where it would be slashed. But like there's no confirmation of it being slashed. It could have just been a weird flat tire. I don't know though. It's kind of whack. I feel like
Alright.
someone just hates me. You know, they have it out for me. They're trying to kill me. They're really bad at it though. Like I'm not trying to invite anyone to do so, but I'm still alive and thriving.
I mean, Benny's address is
Whoa, just add a beep there. Yeah, you know, just hit me up with my postal code. You
Oh
know?
my god.
Send me cyanide.
Oh my god, Benny. Yo, just send me some asbestos, cyanide, maybe a little anthrax,
Whatever you
Dust a
want,
little on
man.
top.
Just toss a little bit in there, you know. Whatever you feel like it, you know. Any given day, flip a die, roll a coin. That's not what I meant to say. Here's something you'll notice about me. If we end up continuing this recording process, the later we do it, the less competent I become. Like dramatically. It's like exponential decline in competence. Like it just drops. And then
my.
it levels out for a bit and then it drops again, just at the different freaking tiers of the night. Like once it hits like 9 o'clock, competence gone. I'm no longer thinking. Once it hits midnight, I'm just sheer delirious. Like
You know what? I might as well just throw up a graph on screen. That'll help
just
people,
throw exponential curve of competence, and it's just a line that just goes straight down.
Oh my god.
No, it's facts though. Like I say weird crap like flip a coin and roll a die. You know, wait, I was right. No.
God damn it.
Y'all know what I'm trying to say, I think. Anyways,
Alright.
I got into a car accident. I might lose my license. I might not be able to drive out here. We'll work around it. We're getting guests on the podcast. We need a mixer board. I'm not paying. I might pay because we're actually doing this now, and it's like a semi-legit thing. So,
That was a lot in
yeah,
one.
I say words fast.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
plan on some guests in the future.
Yep. For like the 2 people that are listening to this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's probably just us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, this has been the super scuffed, but also actually not as horribly awful as anticipated, Swayzo cast.
I mean, that went pretty well for
I'm
a
impressed.
first, you know?
Yeah. I'm pretty much the best. You're also like the co-best.
All right. Yeah, okay.
All right. Want to close this out here because this is kind of your thing, Gab Chan.
Yeet.